Kamala Harris is targeting crucial battleground voters with vastly different messages on Gaza and Israel. This ad is running in Michigan, which has the largest Arab population in America.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
It's a very different story for an ad in Pennsylvania targeting Jewish voters.
I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7.
Oh, you're the worst vice president. You're the worst border czar. There's never been anybody bad like you. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Micca, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks, because y'all know once we got the Red Cup, we're about to spill some truth. And today, we're just one day away from making America great again with Donald Trump. I cannot wait, because Kamala, you are fired, okay? We have had a horrible last 3.5 years, okay? And I can't wait until she's gone, all right? The jobs number that came in was abysmal, all right? And there's literally no movement. And we just don't trust Kamala, okay, to run this country. But over the weekend, everyone was out on the campaign trail, you know, showing up the last bit of votes that they think they can get. Everybody had their rallies. But one thing I did see a lot of, and that's surrogates. And on the Democratic side, the surrogates were out in full force, like this governor of New York. Here we go.
The Republicans running in these seats, the incumbents, closer to Donald Trump. And remind everybody, if you're voting for these Republicans in New York, you are voting for someone who supports Donald Trump, and you're anti-woman, you're anti-abortion, and basically you're anti-American, because you have just trashed American values and what our country is all about.
Okay, so you just saw that the governor of New York decided to call all Trump supporters anti-American, anti-woman, just because we vote Republican and for Donald Trump. That is crazy. Again, here are Kamala's surrogates going ahead and calling us whatever they want. But if we were to say anything about Kamala and her people, we're anti. This has to be the most divisive group of people I've ever seen in my life, on top of the Trump derangement syndrome. But she has the nerve to call somebody anti-anything. Wasn't she just the person that was saying that Black people don't even know what computers are? Here we go.
Right now we have, young Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
See? Yeah, that's her. Black kids in the Bronx don't know what the word computer is. Like, they don't know. This is what the Democrats think of you, okay? Meanwhile, you're giving them 92% of your vote. But that's changing this year. But it didn't stop all of the surrogates. Here's Mark Cuban. Here we go.
The women of Trump world are up in arms today.
Mark Cuban, you can go to hell.
They're livid at Shark Tank billionaire Mark Cuban for suggesting that women who support Trump are dumb.
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple.
This is so profoundly offensive.
Kayleigh McEnany was Trump's White House press secretary. His daughter-in-law, Laura, is co-chairperson of the RNC.
Apparently, we are weak and stupid. Well, I don't think so, Mark Cuban.
Trump himself posed with female supporters, their fists raised. I may, in fact, be surrounded by the strongest women in the world who make Mark Cuban look like a baby. Cuban is eating his words today. I apologize to anyone who felt slighted. Can't nail every interview.
So you just saw that Mark Cuban offended all of the women around Trump. And he said, oh, I can't nail every interview. Sorry. When I tell you these people are anti-everything, they're anti-everything. But had the nerve to call us anti-woman and anti-American. Go figure. All right, I told you the left is everything they say that Trump is. Everything they say Trump is, the left is. Anyway, the ringleader, Kamala, all right, decides that she's going to give a slightly small little press conference before one of her rallies. And the mixed messages just keep on going and going and going. That's why nobody knows her. Here we go.
Can we take that live shot?
And today, I will be spending the rest of the day here on the ground in Michigan talking with voters and reminding them of the stakes and reminding them of the power they possess to actually determine the outcome of this election and the direction of our country. So I'm very much looking forward to today and the next 48 hours.
Todd,
any questions?
Vice President, do you have any closing argument for Arab American voters and voters in the Muslim community as to why they should vote for you in this election?
Sure, absolutely. Well, first of all, I'm honored to have the support of many Arab American leaders who represent the interests and the concerns also of the Arab American community. But I also know well enough to know it is not a monolith. There are many issues that are the issues that all Americans face, and then, of course, some that are specific to what is happening in Gaza. And on the subject of Gaza, I have been very clear the level of death of innocent Palestinians is unconscionable. We need to end the war, and we need to get the hostages out. And as president of the United States, I will do everything in my power to achieve that end and a two-state solution where Palestinians will have the right to self-determination and security and stability in the region.
Now, I don't know how she's going to do that two-state solution. Israel has already said, as long as the prime minister is in office, there will be no two states. So I don't know how she's going to do that. But I'm going to let her talk because she's pandering right now.
But again, the issues are as varied as they are for any voter. It includes that. But it is also about bringing down the cost of living. It is about supporting small businesses in the community. It is about bringing down the cost of housing, groceries, extending the child tax credit. These are issues that resonate in that community as well as every other community. And I will continue to speak to members of that community and to ask for their vote, which I hope I earn.
All right, so you just saw that. And she pandered so hard to the Muslim community, but they're not listening because they're voting for either Trump or Jill Stein, so it doesn't matter. But the same press conference, she was asked another question, and I wonder how she answered it. Here we go.
Madam Vice President, have you returned the ballot to California, and how did you vote on Prop 36?
So my ballot is on its way to California, and I'm going to trust the system that it will arrive there. And I am not going to talk about the vote on that because honestly, it's the Sunday before the election, and I don't intend to create an endorsement one way or another around it. So
what they're actually talking about is a vote that would make it illegal and highly punishable for these smash and grabs that they're doing in California, okay? They're just stealing and stealing and stealing, and it's costing the state and the taxpayers so much money, right? And people are leaving left and right. So they want to get rid of all that criminal activity that Kamala was a part of putting in place. But you can't get Kamala to answer a question. Whoever would have thought you can get Kamala to answer the question? I pity the fool who keeps trying. Anyway, because of how Kamala and all of the Democrats have been running this, how their surrogates have been acting, it has been allowing for Donald Trump to gain so much momentum and so much steam that everybody can see right through Kamala, okay? They can see through her, and they understand that she's not authentic and she's not real. Thus, now they're backing Donald Trump. And who's backing Donald Trump? People from Minnesota. What people do you say? The Somalians. Take a look.
Apparently I did a really good job, and Senator Sanders appointed me to be political director in Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, and Illinois. And I organized like crazy. We door knocked, we did rallies. We were going from town to town. I was working 80-hour weeks. I was eating out of a Casey's gas station most days because I thought we were at a precipice where we could change the direction of this country. And we fought a campaign against 18 candidates. One of them was Kamala Harris. She didn't even scratch the surface then, couldn't even make it out of Iowa. So it's surprising to see such a coup happen in our society today, where we fought a hard-fought victory in Iowa and around the country in the primary for a candidate to be given the nomination. We spent millions of dollars selling ideas, talking to people, millions of hours, thousands of volunteers, connecting, finding commonality. And that no longer matters. Joe Biden is asleep at the wheel. Let's replace him. Let's have Kamala come in. That is a travesty. How is that happening in the United States of America? Whether you're Republican, Independent, or Democrat, how are we putting people on a pedestal and saying, this is the only option, this is the only flavor available today? That's why you see all these people in this room were former Democrats. We were diehard supporters. Republicans had no opportunity, no room to come and talk to us because we were loyal to the Democratic Party, but that party is no longer loyal to us and no longer loyal to this country. We send billions overseas to prosecute wars against innocent people, yet we can't prosecute war against poverty in this country. The Democratic Party is now the party of war. It's the party of the billionaires. It's the party of silencing free speech. That is not who I am, and that is not my values. My values are still my values, but the party of the Democratic Party no longer holds those values to be true. And today, in front of my own community and the rest of our society, I'm telling you, I am no longer a Democrat. I have left that party. I'm a person of deep Muslim faith, Abrahamic religion. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I love my Christian brothers and sisters. People who come from different communities and backgrounds. We're all the same. We live in a country where we should be working together, not hurting each other, not defaming each other. And that's why it's surprising to say, Trump is kind of an asshole, right? He says a lot of things. He's not the nicest person in the room. He's not going to sugarcoat things for you. But guess what? The 4 years he was president, nothing happened to me personally. I was safe. This community was safe. This country was safe. I did not abandon my party. My party abandoned me, and I'm not going to be party to that. And we're going to organize in this last couple of days to change the direction of this country. Thank you so much.
All right, so you guys saw that. Somalian leaders are behind Trump. And it's crazy because Somalians usually are very, very, very blue walled. They vote heavily Democratic, but they're all going for Trump. And the reasons is because of economics, the war. Kamala has botched this whole thing, and she panders to both sides. Watch.
Kamala Harris is targeting crucial battleground voters with vastly different messages on Gaza and Israel. This ad is running in Michigan, which has the largest Arab population in America.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
It's a very different story for an ad in Pennsylvania targeting Jewish voters.
I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7.
Okay, so you just saw that. And now you can see why CNN called her out on hypocrisy. All right. Nobody trusts Kamala and nobody believes her because she does things like this. She goes back and forth. She flip-flops depending on who she's talking to. So we never know her real stance, her true stance, or what she's actually going to do. And she never answers any questions. Go figure. But she had already been losing steam with the Muslim community, which is why most of them are voting for Jill Stein, and then the rest are voting for Trump. And we had a Muslim mayor in Michigan come out and support Trump. Well, now the Arab community in Dearborn are now supporting Trump, which is huge. That is a big, huge Muslim community. Here we go.
Let me share a couple words. Let me share a couple words for our president, for our future president and former president, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Yes! A wise man once said, "Peace is the prize," and I stand before him today. As Arab Americans, we unite against the betrayal of those in power. Our families back home suffer, their cries for help echoing across borders, while the world remains silent. It is time to prioritize our nation's best interests and foster lasting peace for all. This current administration has failed miserably in all aspects of humanity. It is imperative that the Republican Party recognizes the contributions of Arab Americans No longer will we tolerate the narrative of fake news that seeks to demonize our people. We are proud Americans enriching this nation with our hospitality, education, and hard work. We look to a Trump presidency with hope, envisioning a time where peace flourishes, particularly in Lebanon and Palestine, maintaining the integrity of our borders. I believe that you will stand up to corruption, fostering peace and prosperity through diplomacy rather than through bombs and bloodshed. I, along with many others, truly appreciate that you made it a priority to visit Dearborn, one of the greatest cities in the United States. It is vital to keep building these connections and strengthening relationships with our incredibly intelligent community, especially after the election. Now, I would like to honor our future president, Mr. Donald Trump, with a plaque on behalf of all peace-loving Michiganders, from a quote from Ronald Reagan that says, "Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means."
Now, you would think just because he has the Muslim vote, the Somalian and Arab Muslim vote, that he couldn't possibly be doing well with Jewish people, especially young Jewish people that are not Orthodox Jews. He couldn't possibly be doing well with them. And they wouldn't definitely not go to a Madison Square Garden Nazi rally to see Hitler. Or would they? Here we go.
This week we were told by the Democrats that Trump is a Nazi. What are you guys doing in line waiting to see a Nazi?
Right here. So the fact that they're saying that shows the ignorance on what they think. It is complete disgrace. They have no right to say that. Trump did nothing wrong. He's a good guy. He supports the Jewish community. He supports Israel, not like the other side, all talk, but they do not do the walk. It's about time we get law, order, peace, stability in this country, and we bring the world to a safer place. Trump 2024. USA! USA! USA!
Okay, so you just saw that there. Trump has everyone, young Jews, Orthodox Jews, I mean, all types of Jewish people, even the more liberal Jews. They are moving on the Trump train, all right? Then he has the Arab Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan, okay? And he also has the Muslims in Tampon Tim's home state, Minnesota. Somalians. These are their bread and butter bases. And Trump has been able to pull it out because they know he's authentic. And whatever his stance is, whether you like it or not, he stays with it. He sticks with it and says, "This is my stance." Meanwhile, Kamala keeps switching back and forth. You don't know her stance. She has a video over here or something else and a video over there or something else, right? Which CNN, by all means, called out because it's hypocritical. You don't know where she stands ever. Okay, so with everything you just heard, you now know why the lamestream media in Kamala's camp is running scared. She's losing with every voter bloc that's normally in the bag for the Democrats, okay? Your Muslims, your Arabs, your Jews, they all are usually in the Democrats' bag. Young people, they're all there. And they all seem to be getting chipped away at. Black people, Black men, okay? This is unlike anything they've ever seen. And now they're getting really scared of the early vote. The turnout is amazing. And they're running scared. Watch this.
What's their biggest concern right now if you're the Harris team?
Republicans do have an advantage in early vote numbers. When the early vote come in, it's going to look a little bit different than 2020, and that's scary.
So far, right now, okay, no pandemic, no COVID, no nothing. You're at 77 million, so you're just about half of the total that we expect in the end. And among those, now there's a category of others, sometimes they register as independents, et cetera. But based on party, based on the states and early voting that report by party registration, Democrats make up 41% and Republicans make up 39%. This is one of these things that Messina was talking about in the soundbite.
All right, so you've seen all of that. The polls are suggesting conservatives, Republicans, they're up in the early vote. And more than half of the population in America has voted early. So that is a great place for Republicans to be, for Donald Trump to win. All right. And even the Senate races, it's a good spin-off for the Republicans. All right. And it's just amazing because you're starting to see that Kamala Harris cannot fight against real American, real numbers. The mainstream media can tell you whatever they want. But once you're on the ground and once the numbers start coming in, you start seeing that it's different than what the media tells you. Nobody thinks Donald Trump is Hitler. Nobody thinks Donald Trump is going to cause World War III. Nobody thinks Donald Trump won't correct the economy. Everybody thinks Donald Trump will do the exact opposite. But the media wants to tell you that he won't. And that's because they want the same people in power. And best believe, when Donald Trump is in, the mainstream media is done for. They definitely don't want that. So they're going to do everything for Donald Trump to not get in. But you got to tell Kamala and the Democrats this.
You're the worst vice president. You're the worst border czar. There's never been anybody bad like you. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here.
And that is how we'll end 2024 tomorrow. Get out and vote. Get out there as early as you can. The lines are going to be long. Make sure you look at your ballots. Make sure you look at the screen. Make sure that it doesn't switch on you, okay? And make sure you even look at your paper ballots and make sure there's no little dots in there that can help switch the ballots and void and things like that. There's all kinds of tricks and tactics that they're using. Just pay attention. And if you want to be, a little coy, a little a-ho-ish, go out in your garbage bag. Since we're garbage. It's been hilarious watching those videos on social media, on TikTok. But sincerely, go out and vote. We got to get those Democrats, Kamala, Joe Biden, and everybody else up out of here. And we got to do it with our voice. It's your girl, Micca. Thank you for watching. You can support Cash App officially Micca, and my CCA is how you spell it. Or you can support down in the comments with a super thanks or in the chat with a super chat. As always, thank you for watching, and I'm out. Peace.